Assalamu alaikum everybody. In today's video I'm going to be reacting to my old self from 2019, so almost 3 years ago. And back then I was an atheist and I've made a video about the meaning of life. And I used to have a business YouTube channel which no longer is active. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to react to the video, and so that you can see how I view life and meaning now as a Muslim versus an atheist. And yeah, it's pretty funny, and you're gonna see my fat face because I had 20 plus kilograms. So let's just watch this. Let me know if it's too cringe or not. So, hey, what's the meaning of life? Have you ever struggled with that question? I bet you did, everybody did, right? But recently I've been really having some tough time figuring this one out, because there's no objective meaning of life. Nobody tells you when you're in school that here's a list what you have to do, and this will make you feel meaningful and fulfilled. I start off with saying there's no objective meaning of life, and of course this is true on atheism. So what you have to do as an atheist is to create your own meaning. So basically go to school, at least there's some structure, but as soon as you're outside of that environment, you basically are just focused on your career, and there's no purpose to your life, to your existence. So you can have hobbies, maybe you can have a family, but still you're missing something important in your life, because those are all just very not great meanings of life. Those are very fleeting things. And so yeah, that's very true. Us humans, we tend to operate in the world without actually understanding what's our purpose or meaning for all of this. You know, when I was 18, 10 years ago, I used to think that, okay, there's no meaning to the life, but I'm gonna get it somehow. I'm gonna get it by studying and understanding a particular field. I'm gonna get it by getting a really good job and making good work, or I'm gonna get it by starting a family. Either of those things. That has to be it, right? Look, here's how it turns out usually. After some time you find out that the thing that you were studying is useless. You'll realize as soon as you enter the workforce that everything you've been taught is outdated. 20 years ago, nobody needs your skill set anymore, or something like that. Then you get the job and you feel like, okay, I'm gonna make a career out of this. Or perhaps it's family and friends. However, if you have a ton of friends and if you have a large family, oftentimes you have shallow relationships, meaning you really scratch the surface with people. You don't really talk deeply. You know, you talk about the weather, the kids and everything like that, but it's not really something that can truly fulfill you. And the fulfillment comes, or the meaning of life comes really even from relationships you have. But if they are really shallow, then that's broken as well. Or your partner is really not expressing themselves to you fully, and all these problems come to you when you're in your mid-20s, which is really crucial, where I used to be a few years ago. I'm at the crossroads again, and so one thing I want to stress now is that why was I searching for the meaning of life? How stupid is that question? Most people will be like, that's so dumb, just live your life. But you have to realize a human being is designed to figure out answers to questions. So as soon as you learn how to eat food, how to stand up, and how to go to school, get grades, and you figure out, okay, this is my plan, then you need to figure out, okay, what am I doing it for? You're always asking why. It's pretty normal. So I don't think that's actually that crazy. But the thing is, even on atheism, and this is the time when I'm not militant atheist, militant with a AK-47, but I'm making fun of religions and stuff like that. Even in that mind, I'm still searching for something deeper. Why? There shouldn't be anything deeper to the life. It should just be molecules and atoms, and just live your life. Why can't you just live your life? Just eat food and go to sleep and then die. That's your purpose. But you see, humans need something, and that's been proven through research in human psychology, that humans need meaning in whatever shape or form. And as you see, when you're young, this is your meaning. When you're in mid-20s, your career is the meaning. Then the family, it sort of changes and never stays the same, and you're kind of chasing something which is always you're trying to hold on to something which always slips your hand, and yeah, it's pretty crazy. Years ago I started a business, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna start a business, I'm gonna make money and do something, and I'm gonna see what happens. I made some money, I started a business, it did work after some time. However, I do feel meaningless. To be honest, I got to the point where I started hating on B2B sales, which is the field where I am. You make a goal, you make a meaning, you say, I want to be the best fighter, I want to create this business. And when it works, actually, it becomes meaningless to you as soon as you achieve that thing. And that's true, and you can ask anyone. And I'm talking about very small success, like running a small business. And as soon as it worked, it becomes meaningless, because now you have to figure out a new goal, a new meaning for you. And it's a tremendous weight on your psychology, like, whoa, oh my God, what's the meaning now? And so you're always trying to push yourself, because you can't just live day to day. You have to have a goal in your head. And it's pretty crazy existence, to be honest. Most people live like that. Like, most people tend to put themselves in a box and be like, I'm a great developer, I'm a great accountant, or whatever. And they don't realize, by the way, you're a human being. You have other needs than proving your social value in the workplace. You have consciousness, you have this sense of morality, good and evil. You have all these things that you're ignoring and putting away, and maybe taking drugs and alcohol to numb the psychological pain that you're feeling. But you're just kind of like created your fake avatar of your existence, like, I'm just this person, even though you've built it. And before you build that image, you were still somebody else. As a kid, you must have been thinking something else. So you've kind of you have to recreate yourself a couple of years, and it's always like a weird process where you kind of change your situation and positioning. So I was like an expert on this, and now I was like, no, I don't want to be an expert on this field. I want to be an expert here, because it's like, it gets annoying after a while. SubhanAllah. Is that all I can be? Why? I'm so much more. I know I'm so much more. So I recently made a good friend, and I just met him randomly. He's a YouTube influencer, and he lives out in Prague, and we hang out together, and we always talk very deep shit, very deep philosophical kind of stuff. And I thought, like, okay, that's the thing. I'm gonna start and become an artist, or start something like that, because he's an artist and he knows how to do everything. And then I realized that's not what I want to do. I started writing a book. I wanted to shoot a documentary. I was always looking for that thing. That's it. You're always trying to engage with the external world to add value to it, or to prove something, because you feel worthless. You feel like, well, the only way I can get a meaning is by being successful, or watching these YouTube videos, or people being successful, and you see like these sportsmen and something, and you have like a normal life, and it's kind of like bugging you. So you need to kind of create some value. So you think like, art will help me express myself, or this or that, or I'm gonna be a YouTuber, or whatever. And it's just so surface level. These ideas are so like weird, to prove your worth to the world, when you already have value. You already have value without actually knowing it. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You know, sometimes you just have to take that big leap, and sometimes you have to take it multiple times in your life. You maybe, you know, maybe right now you're ready to quit your job, and you think like, this is such a huge leap, like, I can't believe this leap, that I'm doing this. And you're gonna do it, and it's gonna feel scary, and it's gonna be overwhelming, and then you're gonna make it. But then it comes another leap where you realize that the idea you had for business doesn't work at all, or it works but it doesn't fulfill you, or the thing you think is gonna fulfill you, like having an online course or anything like that, is actually gonna make you more depressed. And then you're gonna start thinking, what am I gonna do now? And then you're gonna feel trapped, and you're gonna have to make another big jump, and then another big jump. And this is how it goes in life. And I think this is how you recreate yourself every couple of years. Now I'm recreating myself into completely new business. All those things that I've done in my life, like big changes in terms of career, when I quit my job, it happened multiple times that I had to quit my job when it was actually going well, because I knew I want to become an entrepreneur. So that was like a huge fear, or I had massive fear, you know, just graduating from school, from university, going to the States, living in the US. There's been many things in my life which was like very, very stressful situation, or like upgrading myself to another person, or like being sued by another company, never been sued in a business, you know, or, you know, just weird situations in life where you have to kind of like become someone else, like you have to upgrade yourself. Those are nothing all of that is nothing compared to what I had to do last year with Islam. I had to completely strip away every piece of value or idea that I believed in and recreate my entire psychology from scratch with Allah on the first place. Ain't that crazy? But that's what needed to happen, and that was by far the biggest change in my life. I can't even compare it to thinking like changing a job or having a child or something like that. That's nothing compared to changing your belief system. It's completely revolutionary, and yeah, it's something I thought like, oh, I'm already like at the end, I'm already figuring out life, and then like it crumbled and everything had to be built again. But subhanallah, I'm so happy that I did this. If you're looking for the meaning of your own life, just go where the fear is, and you're gonna make those jumps. You're gonna feel again miserable, and then you're gonna have to make another jumps. It's a never-ending story. I'm gonna leave this video with a quote that my friend told me. Hey, you should do things that you're pulled towards, not that you have to push through. I think that's pretty good metaphor to realize like what to do next. Go do things that you're pulled towards. Not that you have to push. That's not great advice, like to be pulled towards something that you push through, or go where the fear is and stuff like that. I mean, that's good, but the real truth is, if you're looking for the meaning of life, if you feel depressed in this like cycle of despair or whatever, just go where the truth is. Try to find the truth. And how do you do that? Well, go look up people who are trying to figure this out a long time ago. And as you can see, by the way, I have a book, and this is in Slovak language, but it's in English as well. You can download it. It's called Rational Belief in God, Cosmological Arguments for Dummies. Now I have a physical copy, and this is basically the process. Well, not the exact process I went through, but I just tried to figure out, okay, well, if there is a meaning of life, it can't be subjective, it has to be objective. All right, so at least we need to figure out, well, before the meaning of life is figured out, I need to figure out what's the existence. So do I exist in this world? If so, I agree that I exist. If so, how did this world came about? And then you have all these competing theories, multiverse, virtual reality, all these things. And you have to look at all of these and figure out like, okay, well, can things come into existence from nothing? Can things come from something else? Is there causality? What's happening in this world and universe? And once you figure some basics, you need to figure out like, where did that thing come from? Where did the universe come from? And then you come across a weird paradox where you need to establish an independent thing to make sense of everything. And that's Allah, that's God, by the way. So if you go through that process, you come quickly to the conclusion that, okay, there must have been an independent prime mover who everything depends upon. And once you figure that out, you just need to kind of study comparative religions, or just figure out like, okay, did this thing, does it have a mind? If so, what is it? What's the purpose of life? And is there a religion that fits that purpose? And then you look at religions, and I looked at Islam and it made sense. And then you read the Quran and you will have a completely different perspective on life. So to all the atheists, if you're open to this, I think at this stage of my life, this was like really depressed stage, I was really open to even looking at religions, but I would be very skeptical. So you'd have to like take me and try to demolish my idea of the meaning of life before giving me any dawah, any sort of invitation to Islam. But yeah, I think if you're an atheist, you're watching this, just try it out. Like, figure out if the existence can exist without the independent being. If so, how so, and which one is more likely. And if you come to conclusion that there might have been something like prime mover or God or whatever, then you try to figure out religions, because why are there so many religions? There must be something that humans are trying to manifest. What is it? I'll leave that to you. But jazakallah khair for watching this video, and until next time, let's catch up. Salam alaikum.